Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever found yourself giving your all to someone only to feel like you're the one doing all the chasing? Today I want to talk about flipping that script. The game isn't about manipulation. It's about magnetic authenticity. When you play this right, not only will he chase you, he'll never want to stop. Let's dive into the 4 key moves of this powerful game. Becoming the prize is one of the most transformative and empowering shifts a woman can make in her dating life. Often we get caught in the trap of believing that our worth is determined by how much we give, how much we sacrifice, or how much we chase after someone's affection. Society often tells us that to be desirable, we need to be available at all times, constantly attentive, and willing to bend over backward to please others. But the truth is, the most magnetic and captivating women are not the ones who give endlessly without receiving, but rather those who understand the power of self-worth and self-respect. The first step in becoming the prize is recognizing that you are inherently valuable without needing external validation to define your worth. When you begin to see yourself as someone who is worthy of admiration, respect, and love, others will naturally follow suit. The key to this is in shifting your focus from what you can do for someone else to what you are doing for yourself. Your life, your ambitions, your passions, and your growth should be at the center of your world. When you fill your life with things that bring you joy and fulfillment, the right people will be attracted to the energy that surrounds you. Imagine for a moment that you are a precious gem. A diamond, for instance. A diamond doesn't go looking for attention. It's noticed by its brilliance, its uniqueness, and its strength. It stands tall and radiant, and it doesn't seek approval or validation from anyone. It simply exists in its power, and people are drawn to it. This is the essence of becoming the prize. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself, living with purpose, and letting people see your worth without having to beg for it. This is a significant departure from the often romanticized notion that a woman must win someone over. The idea of being in constant pursuit of someone else's attention or approval can lead to emotional exhaustion and ultimately dissatisfaction. When you constantly give of yourself without receiving, you might find yourself feeling undervalued or even resentful. Instead, when you begin to prioritize yourself and your own growth, you create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and full of opportunities. This in turn makes you more attractive to those around you, including one of the most important aspects of becoming the prize is learning how to cultivate your own happiness and sense of fulfillment. This doesn't mean that you should isolate yourself from others or become distant and unapproachable. On the contrary, it means that you are comfortable and secure within yourself, and that security radiates outward. When you are at peace with who you are not afraid of giving or receiving love. You are simply open to connection, but you also understand that you do not need to compromise who you are or settle for anything less than what you deserve. Living a life that you love also means that you are busy enough with your own interests, goals, and pursuits that you don't have the time to chase after someone who may not be the right fit for you. When you are the prize, you don't waste time chasing after someone who doesn't see your worth. You know that the right person will appreciate and respect you without needing to be convinced. This can be incredibly liberating because it shifts your mindset from one of scarcity, thinking you need to chase love to get it, to one of abundance, believing that love will come to you when you are aligned with your best self. A huge part of this is confidence. Confidence doesn't come from the approval of others. It comes from being secure in your own identity and knowing that you are deserving of love, respect, and happiness. It comes from embracing your strengths and flaws alike and knowing that you are enough as you are. This self-assurance is magnetic. When you're confident in who you are, you stop seeking validation from others and start creating your own narrative. Another important facet of becoming the prize is learning how to manage your own emotional energy. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new relationship or the desire for someone's affection, But the true test of your value lies in how you manage your emotions. You don't need to constantly seek reassurance or validation from others because you already know your worth. Instead of obsessing over every text message or wondering why someone hasn't called, you focus on your own life and let your emotional well-being remain in your own hands. Being the prize also means setting boundaries. When you treat yourself as the prize, you naturally begin to recognize the importance of respecting your own needs and desires. You don't settle for less than you deserve, and you're not afraid to walk away if a relationship isn't right for you. This doesn't mean playing games or being difficult for the sake of it. It simply means knowing your value and refusing to accept anything that doesn't align with the respect you deserve. In relationships, you don't need to be the one doing all the work. You don't need to chase someone to prove your worth. When you live as the prize, you are attracting people who want to invest in you, not the other way around. This shift in mindset can completely transform your approach to relationships, making them more balanced, respectful, and fulfilling. Ultimately, becoming the prize is about recognizing that your life, your worth, and your happiness don't hinge on the approval of someone else. You are complete on your own. When you stop seeking validation and start focusing on your own growth, the people who are truly meant for you will be drawn to your energy. They will chase you, not because you are playing hard to get, but because they genuinely see your worth and are excited by the woman you are becoming. Giving him space to wonder is one of the most powerful tools you can use to cultivate attraction and maintain a sense of mystery in a relationship. In the fast-paced world of instant messaging, social media updates, and constant connectivity, it can be tempting to remain available at all times, eagerly waiting for his next text, call, or attention. However, this often leads to the opposite of what you want. When you are always available, predictable, and overly accessible, you rob the other person of the chance to miss you, to think about you, and to desire your company. The concept of giving space is not about playing games, being cold, or purposefully pulling away to make someone chase you. It's about allowing the relationship to evolve naturally and not forcing it. When you allow someone to have the space to wonder about you, to think about what you're doing, and to feel curiosity about you, it creates a kind of emotional pull that makes them want to get closer to you. It ignites their interest in you rather than allowing the relationship to become stale or predictable. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand or control. When a person can't easily predict your every move, they are more intrigued and interested in getting to know you better. This is a crucial aspect of creating a balanced, healthy relationship. It's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you need to constantly communicate or be in touch, especially when you're emotionally invested. But the reality is, too much communication too soon can sometimes be overwhelming and can create a sense of urgency that's not healthy. Over-availability can lead to complacency and a lack of excitement. When a relationship is too easy, it often loses its spark. The excitement of getting to know someone, of discovering new things about them, becomes diluted when everything is laid out on the table too quickly. When you give space, you're creating a situation where the other person has the opportunity to pursue you in a more organic way. The key is to not feel the need to fill every silence, to constantly offer reassurance, or to always be available to talk at a moment's notice. By allowing him to initiate contact, you create an environment where he has the opportunity to invest in the relationship and actively choose to spend time with you. This investment is crucial for a long-term, meaningful connection. It allows both individuals to feel the excitement of mutual desire rather than just a one-sided chase. Additionally, when you step back and give someone space, it forces them to take responsibility for their own feelings and actions. Relationships are about both people contributing emotionally, mentally, and physically. And when you always make the effort, the other person may not realize the value of the effort you're putting in. When you give them room to think about you, to reflect on what they're feeling, and to reach out on their own, they are more likely to appreciate the connection that's been built between you. Another important aspect of giving space is that it allows you to maintain your own life, identity, and sense of self. In the early stages of a relationship, it's easy to get swept up in the excitement and start prioritizing the relationship over other aspects of your life. However, this can lead to a loss of personal identity. You may begin to make plans based on the other person's schedule, change your own goals to accommodate theirs, or lose touch with friends and activities that once brought you joy. When you give space, you're sending the message that you have a full life outside of the relationship and that you won't compromise your individuality. This is attractive because it shows you are a well-rounded person who has a sense of purpose, which is something that anyone would want to share their life with. One of the biggest fears people have when giving space is that the other person might lose interest. However, the opposite is often true. When you're not constantly available, the other person has the opportunity to miss you. It's in the space, the absence, that they begin to appreciate what you bring to their life. This concept is rooted in the idea of emotional pull. People are naturally drawn to what they don't have immediate access to. When you are always around, it can create a sense of dependence, but when you step back, it fosters a sense of longing and desire. This doesn't mean you should pull away for long periods or be intentionally distant, but rather that you should let the relationship develop at its own pace without rushing or forcing it. Another key element to consider is that giving space allows both individuals to grow individually. A healthy relationship is built on the foundation of two people who are secure and content with themselves, bringing their best selves to the relationship. If you're always in constant communication or always available to meet someone's needs, it can prevent you both from developing as individuals. You may begin to rely on each other for constant validation, which isn't healthy for either party. By allowing each other the freedom to grow, explore other interests, and continue to evolve, you make the relationship stronger because you are both coming together as your best selves. Ultimately, giving him space to wander is not a manipulation tactic, but rather a way to ensure that the connection between you is deep, meaningful, and lasting. It's about fostering an environment where both people can feel excited, valued, and interested in each other. By allowing him the room to wander, you're also giving yourself the space to feel more confident, secure, and emotionally balanced. This emotional space creates the kind of chemistry that builds over time, rather than burning out quickly. It helps establish a dynamic where both people feel like they are contributing to the relationship, and it ensures that the connection remains fresh, engaging, and full of excitement. When you let him chase, when you give him the chance to invest and pursue you, you're not only allowing him to appreciate you more deeply, you're also respecting yourself by ensuring that you're not losing your sense of identity or emotional balance in the process. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful tools for fostering healthy, balanced, and lasting relationships. Boundaries are not walls designed to keep people out, but rather guidelines that protect your well-being, ensure mutual respect, and establish the foundation for meaningful, respectful connections. In the context of relationships, particularly with a man, boundaries signify your self-respect, your needs, and your emotional security. They show that you are not afraid to stand up for yourself, to communicate your limits, and to walk away if those limits are not respected. When you set boundaries, you are not only taking care of your own emotional health, but also signaling to the other person that you expect the same level of care, respect, and understanding in return. The importance of boundaries in relationships cannot be overstated. At the beginning of any romantic connection, it's natural to feel excitement, curiosity, and a desire to please the other person. However, this initial phase can sometimes cloud your judgment or lead to the temptation to overlook your own needs and desires in favor of keeping the peace or seeking approval. You may find yourself agreeing to things that don't align with your values, tolerating behaviors that make you uncomfortable, or neglecting your own goals and dreams to prioritize someone else's. In these situations, the lack of boundaries can lead to resentment, frustration, and emotional burnout. Over time, the absence of clear boundaries can erode your sense of self-worth and make the relationship feel imbalanced, unhealthy, and unsustainable. Setting boundaries is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a demonstration of your inner strength and self-awareness. When you know what you will and will not tolerate, you are able to communicate your desires and expectations clearly and confidently. This establishes a foundation of mutual respect, where both partners understand the rules of engagement. Boundaries also allow you to protect your emotional and mental well-being, ensuring that you don't lose yourself in the relationship or become overly dependent on the other person for validation or happiness. They help you maintain your independence, your identity, and your sense of self, which is essential for maintaining a healthy, balanced dynamic. One of the most crucial aspects of setting boundaries is learning to say no without guilt. It's natural to want to be liked and to avoid conflict, but agreeing to things that go against your values or comfort zones can lead to inner conflict and resentment. When you set boundaries, you are asserting your right to prioritize your own needs. This might mean saying no to things that don't serve you, whether that's agreeing to plans that don't align with your values, tolerating disrespectful behavior, or compromising on things that matter deeply to you. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. Rather, it shows that you value yourself enough to protect your time, energy, and emotional health. Learning to say no with confidence allows you to create space for things that truly matter to you, whether that's pursuing personal goals, nurturing friendships, or simply enjoying some alone time to recharge. Another important element of setting boundaries is understanding that it's not about controlling the other person, but rather taking control of your own emotional and mental state. Healthy boundaries are about protecting your peace and creating an environment in which both partners feel respected and valued. When you establish boundaries, you are telling the other person that you have needs, desires, and limits that are non-negotiable. This empowers both you and your partner to engage in a relationship in a way that fosters mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries are not meant to restrict your partner's freedom. Instead, they are an opportunity for both of you to communicate openly about your needs, desires, and limits in a way that honors both individuals in the relationship. Setting boundaries also helps you avoid emotional manipulation and unhealthy dynamics. In relationships where one person's needs constantly outweigh the others, there can be a tendency for one partner to become emotionally controlling, manipulative, or overly demanding. Without clear boundaries, these behaviors can slowly erode the relationship's foundation. However, when you set and enforce boundaries, you are protecting yourself from being emotionally manipulated or taken advantage of. By clearly stating what you need and expect in the relationship, you create a structure in which both partners are able to express themselves freely without fear of being taken for granted or ignored. It's important to remember that boundaries can be flexible and evolve over time. They are not set in stone, but rather serve as a framework for healthy interaction. As relationships progress and deepen, your boundaries may shift based on your evolving needs and experiences. For example, in the early stages of a relationship, you might establish boundaries around communication frequency or how much time you spend together. As the relationship progresses, these boundaries might evolve to include more intimate or emotional aspects, such as expectations around honesty, loyalty, and emotional support. The key is to maintain open communication with your partner about these evolving boundaries and ensure that both of you are on the same page. Boundaries also play a critical role in preventing codependency, a pattern in which one person becomes overly reliant on the other for emotional fulfillment, validation, or identity. Codependency can lead to unhealthy dynamics in which one partner's needs are constantly prioritized over the others, creating an imbalanced and unsustainable relationship. By setting and maintaining clear boundaries, you prevent yourself from falling into this trap and ensure that both partners have the space to grow and thrive individually while still nurturing the connection between them. Ultimately, setting boundaries is an act of self-care and self-respect. It is a way of honoring your own needs, desires, and emotional health while fostering a relationship that is balanced, respectful, and mutually fulfilling. When you set boundaries, you are not pushing the other person away. Rather, you are ensuring that the relationship has a strong foundation built on trust, respect, and open communication. Boundaries help you avoid emotional exhaustion, ensure that both partners contribute equally to the relationship, and create the space for both individuals to thrive and grow. When both partners understand and respect each other's boundaries, the relationship becomes one of mutual support, admiration, and love. An environment where both people can flourish as individuals while building a strong and lasting connection together. One of the most significant elements of creating a lasting, fulfilling relationship is the power of consistency. Consistency in behavior, communication, and intentions not only strengthens the connection, but also builds trust and security. It's a quality that demonstrates reliability and commitment, essential components in any long-term relationship. When you act consistently, you give your partner the assurance that they can depend on you. And this predictability helps to cultivate a sense of safety and emotional stability. Consistency allows the other person to feel secure and trust that the relationship will continue to evolve in a positive direction. One of the key reasons why consistency is so vital in relationships is that it allows both people to feel safe and understood. When a partner's behavior is erratic or unpredictable, it creates anxiety, uncertainty, and confusion. People naturally seek stability in relationships because it creates a sense of comfort and reassurance. When your actions align with your words and you show up consistently, your partner knows they can count on you to be there when they need you. This predictable behavior fosters a deeper connection because it signals that the relationship is grounded and steady. The emotional roller coaster of mixed signals or unreliable actions can make people feel insecure and uncertain about where they stand, which can undermine trust. In a romantic relationship, one of the most effective ways to establish consistency is by following through on your promises. Whether it's something as simple as showing up on time for a date, or as significant as being there when your partner needs emotional support, following through is crucial. This consistency in behavior shows that you value your commitments and that you are dependable. A lack of follow-through, on the other hand, can lead to disappointment, frustration, and a sense of being let down. When your partner can count on you to do what you say, it reinforces the belief that you are trustworthy and reliable, two essential qualities in any healthy relationship. Consistency also plays a significant role in communication. In the early stages of a relationship, it's easy to be swept up in the excitement and spontaneity of getting to know someone. But over time, it's the consistent communication that helps keep the connection strong. This doesn't mean that communication has to be constant or overwhelming, but it does mean that there should be an understanding of how often you communicate and in what way. Being consistent with how you reach out, check in, and express your thoughts and feelings creates a sense of rhythm and reliability that your partner can depend on. Whether it's sending a text to check in during the day, offering a thoughtful compliment, or having regular conversations about your feelings, consistent communication helps to nurture emotional intimacy. Furthermore, consistency in how you treat your partner is equally important. How you make your partner feel matters deeply, and showing consistency in kindness, respect, and affection helps build a foundation of trust and mutual admiration. When you consistently show empathy, appreciation, and care for your partner, it strengthens the emotional bond. This doesn't mean that every moment has to be perfect or that you will never disagree, but it does mean that the core values of respect, understanding, and love should remain constant. If your partner feels consistently valued, loved, and respected, they are more likely to reciprocate those feelings and behaviors. This creates a cycle of positive reinforcement where both individuals feel secure and cherished. Another aspect of consistency is maintaining emotional stability in the relationship. Emotional consistency means that your reactions to situations, both big and small, are predictable in a way that makes your partner feel safe. If your responses are erratic, overly dramatic, or inconsistent, it can cause your partner to feel uncertain or fearful about how to interact with you. On the other hand, when your emotional responses are steady and measured, your partner knows what to expect and can trust that they won't be blindsided by an emotional outburst or sudden shift in mood. Emotional consistency helps to create a space where both partners can navigate challenges calmly and effectively, knowing that they can rely on each other to be a steady source of support. When you are consistent in your actions, communication, and emotional responses, you also demonstrate your commitment to the relationship. In many ways, consistency is a form of devotion. It shows that you are willing to invest time and energy into maintaining a strong, healthy relationship. In relationships, especially as they grow and mature, challenges and changes are inevitable. However, it is during these moments that consistency proves most valuable. When the external circumstances of life change, such as a busy work schedule, moving to a new place, or dealing with family matters, your consistent actions provide a sense of continuity. This consistency becomes a stabilizing force that helps both individuals navigate through life's ups and downs while feeling grounded in the relationship. One area where consistency can truly shine is in the development of emotional intimacy. Trust is built when one partner consistently demonstrates care, respect, and openness. Being vulnerable with each other, sharing your thoughts, feelings, fears, and aspirations is a crucial part of deepening a relationship. But vulnerability requires trust, and trust is cultivated through consistent positive interactions. When both partners feel safe enough to be their authentic selves, they create a bond that is not easily broken. This bond is nurtured through the consistent demonstration of honesty, openness, and emotional presence. Consistency is also crucial in maintaining attraction over time. In the early stages of a relationship, everything can feel exciting and new, but as time goes on, it's the consistency in your actions, words, and behaviors that keeps the attraction alive. When you continue to show your partner that you care, that you are present, and that you are committed to the relationship, it helps to maintain a sense of excitement and affection. It's easy for relationships to slip into routine or complacency, but by staying consistent in your efforts to show affection, appreciation, and interest, you prevent the connection from becoming mundane. Ultimately, consistency is the glue that holds the relationship together, providing the stability and foundation needed to withstand the tests of time. When both partners are committed to showing up, following through, and communicating effectively, it fosters a sense of security and trust. It allows both individuals to feel emotionally safe, valued, and respected, ensuring that the relationship continues to evolve in a positive direction. Consistency in a relationship is not about being perfect, but about being reliable, dependable, and present in a way that strengthens the connection over time. It's through consistent effort and care that a lasting, meaningful relationship is built, creating a bond that both partners can cherish and nurture for years to come.